Students, in the previous video session you have gone through cells in series and parallel. Today we are going to see about the Kirchhoff rule. Kirchhoff made two rule, and you can pronounce this Kirchhoff, and his full name is Gustav Kirchhoff. In 1845 he made two rule for this balancing, for the equalities of this current and voltage, so that we can tell that one is current rule and the second rule is voltage rule. So the first rule is current rule, you can tell. So Kirchhoff first rule. So let us see about this Kirchhoff first rule. First rule, we can tell this Kirchhoff first rule as current rule, or you can tell junction rule. Both you can use current rule or junction rule. Assume that we know that current which is moving in a circuit, electron direction is from negative to positive. Electrons flow is from where? Negative to positive, and conventional current direction is from positive to negative. And based on this, Kirchhoff is saying, assume that this is a junction. So you can keep a junction. A is a junction. This is a current moving direction. So you can keep I1, another current, another I2, current I3, current I4, current I5. This is what Kirchhoff said. You see, you can see that this arrow mark only current direction indicating 1, 2, 3. I1, I2, I3, which is moving towards this junction, and I4 and 5, you can see that which is going away from the junction. So let us see that here you know that current junction, I1 is coming towards, I2 is coming towards, I3 going outward, I4 going outward, I5 going outward. So that you can tell that current reaching at any junction, if you are taking the sum of the current reaching at any junction is 0. That is what Kirchhoff first rule. So I1 is the current flowing towards, actually this is based on that electron direction and conventional current direction. Kirchhoff is saying that any junction current is moving towards. So current moving towards the junction we can take as positive, and current moving away from the junction you can take it as negative. So that is what Kirchhoff said, and he made this rule also. So he said that from anywhere current moving towards a junction you can take as positive, and the current which is going away from the junction you can take as what? You can take as negative. So that he said that it states that the algebraic sum of the current at any junction of a current is 0. If you are taking the sum of all these current at this junction, it will be 0. That is what Kirchhoff first rule. Let us substitute or let us apply this Kirchhoff first rule on this junction A. So I1 is moving towards. I1 is moving towards. So plus I1. I2 is moving towards the junction, plus I2. I3 is going away from the junction, minus I3. I4 is going away from the junction, I4 minus I4. I5 also going away from the junction, so minus I5 equal to 0. This is what Kirchhoff first rule. What he said, the algebraic sum of the current at any junction of a current is 0. So if you are taking the sum of all these current, the algebraic sum of the current at any junction that of a circuit is 0. So you can write another method also, I1 plus I3 I2 equal to I3 plus I4 plus I5. I3 plus I4 plus I5. This way also you can write. This is what Kirchhoff first rule, or you can tell current rule, or you can tell junction rule. So it is very important question. 2 mark also they can ask, 3 mark also they can ask. There will be a definition for this Kirchhoff first rule. So you can note down this definition. It states that the algebraic sum of the current at any junction of a current is 0. And you can note down this also. Take a screenshot of this. Now let us see the Kirchhoff second rule. So assume that Kirchhoff second rule. In Kirchhoff's second rule, see this. A, B, a closed junction. This is a current direction I, and this is a resistor. Now we know that this is a closed circuit. Both sides. This is one circuit. In this circuit, what he said means, he said that if you are taking the product of this current I and this resistance R, that will be equal to the total EMF V of the circuit. We know that V is equal to IR. That only, very simple thing. This is what he said. It states that in a closed circuit, the algebraic sum of the product of the current and the resistance of each part of the circuit is equal to the total EMF included in the circuit. If you are taking a closed circuit, what will be the EMF in that circuit? The EMF or V will be the product. I and R is multiplied. No, so the product of the current and resistance in the circuit. That is what Kirchhoff second rule. So that based on this two application are there. Based on this one application, that is what we are going to see the next. It is very important 5 mark question. Very important. So a very important 5 mark question, Wheatstone bridge. So it is a very simple question and a very important question. This is a diagram, and in this question the specialty is diagram. If you are changing the diagram and this arrow mark, if you are drawing this diagram and putting this arrow mark wrongly, then everything will be wrong. So you lose your 5 mark. So it is very important. First thing, you have to know how to draw this diagram correctly with the A, B, C, D, P, Q, R, S and this direction of the arrow mark. Actually, if you are doing this diagram correctly, then your derivation, you will not make mistake. Otherwise, you can draw anyway, but the problem is you will make a mistake. So you will not get the value the final formula to derive. That's what I said. It is very important you have to learn this diagram. So this Wheatstone bridge, it is one of the application of Kirchhoff rule only. In this Kirchhoff first rule, Kirchhoff second rule, everything is applying EMF. So what is the use of means? Here you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 resistance. So by using this Wheatstone bridge, they are comparing the resistance and determining the unknown resistance. Suppose if they know these two adjacent side value, then if they know these two adjacent side resistor value, means other two they can compare. Suppose if they know 3 resistance value, means they can find out the another resistance value. That is the use of this Wheatstone bridge. So this Wheatstone bridge is used for what is the use? It is used to determine the unknown resistance in an electrical network and used to compare the resistance. And here next you can tell about the circuit. You know that 4 resistance P, Q, R is 4 resistance which is connected in a form of a bridge. This is what you can tell, it is connected in a form of a bridge. Then one galvanometer is connected between these 2 points B and D. 2 points B and D, one galvanometer is connected. Then one battery is connected between the point A and C. So the current through the galvanometer is taken as Ig and its resistance is G. Here this resistance is what? G. Here resistance P, resistance Q, resistance R, resistance S. Here resistance will be G. Let us see how to find out how we are deriving this bridge balance formula. The first thing is you have to apply the Kirchhoff rule to the junction B and the junction D. It is very important to apply Kirchhoff first rule. Where you have to apply? At junction B and D. This B junction and the D junction, we are applying the Kirchhoff rule. We know that Kirchhoff first rule. We know that Kirchhoff first rule is current passing towards this junction or away from the junction. So all the current through this junction is what? 0. If you are taking the algebraic sum of the current passing through that junction will be 0. So let us see towards this B junction what are the current passing. I1 is moving towards B. I3 is moving away from B. Ig is moving away from G. So that it is capital G. You can see this diagram. It will be better for you. You see the diagram. Towards the junction, I1 is moving towards the junction. I3 is going away from the junction. Ig is going away from the junction. So what you can write? What are the current moving towards the junction? I1, so positive, plus I1, Ig. This Ig is, here what will come? Current Ig. Ig is moving away from the junction. So take minus Ig. Then I3 also moving away from the junction. So minus I3 equal to 0. This you take equation 1. Now this is at junction B, then at junction D. So take D is this junction. towards the junction I2 is there, away from the junction I4 is there, towards the junction IG is there. So I2 is towards, so plus I2, IG also towards, so plus IG. So I4 is away from the junction minus I4 equal to 0. This is equation 2. So I believe that you have understood how I found this. Just applying the Kirchhoff first rule to the junction B and D and taken two equation. Now Kirchhoff second rule. Second rule we have to apply in a closed loop, okay? In a closed circuit. That is what it is said as voltage rule, or we can tell that loop rule. So in a closed circuit only we will use a second rule. Here the closed circuit is A, B, D, A. So first you have to apply the Kirchhoff rule in a closed loop A, B, D, A. Okay. So applying Kirchhoff second rule to loop ABDA. So ABDA means second rule we know that V is equal to IR format, V equal to IR format. So current into resistance. So A, B, D, A. This direction, then this direction. This is a loop. So I1P. First you have to take a V is equal to IR format, I1P. I1 is the current, P is the resistance. This direction, no? Then this direction. So current is IG, resistance is G. So again plus IG, G. This is also V is equal to IR format. IG is the current and G is the resistance. Now this is opposite. You see the arrow marker like this, but this I2 is opposite. You have to put minus. So minus I2, their resistance is R equal to 0. This is the second rule. We applied on loop what ABDA. Next you have to apply Kirchhoff second rule on this big loop A, B, C, D, A. So applying the Kirchhoff second rule A, B, C, D, A in this loop. Now you see, so I1P, so plus I1P, again plus I3Q. You see I4 is opposite to this, so minus I4S, I2 also opposite direction, so minus I2R. So take I told I1P plus I1P plus I3Q minus I4 S minus I2 R equal to 0. This is equation 3. This is equation 4. Now you see that in this circuit this B and D, this B and D are at the same potential. Same potential means the voltage across this B and D is same. So what we can tell is this bridge is balanced. This bridge is balanced means you know this galvanometer deflection will be what? Null deflection. So there is no potential difference between these two junction B and D. So there won't be any current flows. So current flows, galvanometer shows null deflection. So galvanometer shows null deflection. So you can take what? This galvanometer IG value is 0. Now you have to, what you have to do means substitute substitute Ig equal to 0 in equation 1, 2 and 3. So in equation 1, 2 and 3, wherever Ig is there all you put a 0. So you can see that first equation, here we are putting 0. Second equation, here we are putting 0. So first equation, I1 minus 0 minus I4. I3, okay, I3. That is what the first equation. So in the second equation, let us see this second equation. First equation, here we put 0. Second equation, here we are going to put 0. So I2 plus 0 minus I4 equal to 0. Again, equation 3. So in this place 0 will come. So I1P plus 0 minus I2 are equal to 0. Now you see 3 equation we got, no? Now this you can take 4, this you can take 5, this you can take 6. Now you see, if you are not putting equation number also no problem. Now you see, here what will come? Here what will come? This equation, what will come? This you can write I1 equal to I3. This you can write I2 equal to I4. This equation you can write I1P equal to I2R. So again you listen. Just I am applying 0, Ig equal to 0 in this equation 1, 2, 3. So what will come? I1 minus 0 minus I3 equal to 0. I2 minus plus 0 minus I4 equal to 0. Then I1P plus 0 minus I2 are equal to 0. So this 3 equation. So this is what step substitute Ig equal to 0 in equation 1, 2 and 3. So now I wrote so you can write this equation what I1 equal to I3. This is equation 4. This you can write I2 equal to I4. This is equation 5. This you can write I1P equal to I2R. This is equation 6. So we got again 3 more equation. I1 equal to I3. Again we got 3 more equation. I1 equal to I3. So this is what step substitute Ig equal to 0 in equation 1, 2 and 3. Ig equal to 0. Okay. Now we got 3 equation 4, 5, 6. Now what you have to do means, now it is going to finish. So now what you have to do means, you have to use this equation. I1P is equal to I2R, isn't it? I1P is equal to I2R. This you have to substitute in equation 4 here. Okay. Instead of I1P, you have to put what? I2R. So substitute equation 6 in equation 4. So equation 4 is This is equation 4. I on P plus I3Q minus I4S minus I2R. So instead of I on P, you have to put I2R. So I2R plus I3Q minus I4S minus I2R. Minus I4S minus I2R equal to 0. So plus I2R minus I2R cancel. So we will get the I3Q minus I4S. So this is equation 7. Now what you have to do means divide equation 7 by equation 6. This is equation 6. This is equation 7. These two you divide. This you can write what? This equation 7 you can write what? We will get I3Q minus I4S. You can write I3Q is equal to I4S. Now divide 6 by 7. So 7 by 6. I3Q divided by I on P. Before dividing, one more step is there. So cut this. So what is the step means? I1 is equal to I3, I2 is equal to I4. So here I1P, here I2R. Now what you have to do means you have to substitute 4 and 5 in equation 6. So substitute 4 and 5 in equation 6. So 4 is I1 equal to I3. 5 is I2 equal to I4. So if you are putting in equation 6, what will come? Instead of I1, I3. Instead of I1, I3, P equal to, instead of I2, I4, R. This is equation 8. Now you have to divide, okay? So divide equation 8 by 7. Divide equation 8 by 7. So what we will get? So I3P by I3Q equal to I4R by I4S. So cancel I4, I3 cancel. You will get P by Q equal to R by S. So my dear students, take a screenshot of this, and if you have any doubt, step by step you do. If you have any doubt, you can ask. You can call me, or you can interact me during the interactive section. Take a screenshot of this, practice this. This is one of the very, very important 5-mark question in this unit. And thank you all. Bye bye. See you on next class.